All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. This is Jaw Jackin. We're about to bring on my man, DJ BSec.
Oh,
There he is. Look at this man. How you doing, DJ BSec?
coming in hot with the low voice.
Yeah, buddy. I always got to do that silly ASMR stuff so I can distinguish the glasses. The glasses distinguish Jerry Guy from Dr. Gerald Dozier, but the voice, it's always nicer to mock Dr. Gerald Dozier, that nerd.
Yeah, I've got those nerd glasses too.
Oh, geez. Okay.
We've got our blue blockers.
Yeah, you could tell you're serious about IT when you're wearing blue blocking glasses. It's a sign of seriousness, right?
Or you're one that sits there too long and gets headaches.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, BSec, what can we expect in the next 30 minutes from your jaw jacking sesh?
Well, since I haven't been here for like 2 weeks by myself, I think we'll just take questions.
All right, that sounds good. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I leave you in the capable hands of my good friend, DJ BSec. Cheers to everybody, and we'll see you at 4:30 p.m. Until next time, stay secure.
All right, now that nerd's out of here, let's get after it. He's laughing in the background. Oh, throw those questions in. So J.I. and Michael, one thing you brought up. Let me go ahead and start this music up. Can't do this without music in my ear. You were asking if CI/CD is just like patching. In a sense, like what you were saying, hey, you're just you could call it that, but CI/CD, the pipeline itself, is a long, I won't say a long list, but it is a way for developers, DevOps, the test team, QA, all to go through a specific process to push code for an application or a web browser or a website or something along those lines. So is it patching? It can be, but usually that means that it's more likely going to be something like for a hot fix. What's going to happen is they'll push something out and they'll say, hey, or you'll get a ticket in to your help desk and they'll say, hey, I need XYZ is having issues. So then the development team will go out and push that. But just because it's not going to get patched instantly, right? Like when you get patches on your Windows machine or another machine, what it's doing is that's already gone through that whole process and you're just patching. The whole process of CI/CD is just that it's a massive process of trying to make sure that what's going to patch or what's going into production is going to not break everything. Yeah, it's a refining process. I mean, you can look at it, you can look at it as patching, but it is way more than just patching. Let me switch this over. Let's get everybody's comments up on here. Ed Williams says, gotta go get to the meetings. I hear that. I'll be running out as soon as this is done. As soon as we're done here, I'll be running out doing the same thing. Would you recommend API and web bug bounties to improve networking knowledge? So not necessarily networking knowledge for API and bug bounties. Bug bounties, for the most part, bug bounties are going to be web based. You can run some networking things on there to see what's going on in the background of the connectivity between the bugs or between the API. But for networking, and we're talking about computer networking here, not necessarily are you going to get a whole bunch of networking knowledge by doing that. Now you need networking knowledge to be able to look at those APIs and look at the web bugs to find out if there are any vulnerabilities there. But I wouldn't necessarily say that doing those is going to improve networking knowledge. Yeah, this is a great response here. Generally, patching is outside of the application. The updates, the OS dependencies, libraries, and so forth. CI/CD is usually just for the application themselves, and that's what it is. The CI/CD pipeline is the code that you're pushing to, that's writing the application. The bugs or the patches are usually pushed. They may be pushed through the CI/CD pipeline out to the code, but they're not necessarily going to be integral into the CI/CD pipeline itself. Cybertron. Let's see. We got Jason Bagwell. Would it be worth it to take a contract job in IT and get some experience in the field if you don't have any? 1,000%, 1,000%. If you have the ability, realizing that a contract job is only for a specific amount of time, if you have the ability to take a contract job and get experience in the field in IT, 100% go for it. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's a crude. It's not necessarily what it is, but it could be used as a crude term for it. At chat. So where are we shipping Jerry Spiders? So I don't know if he's listening, because I know he had to go run and do something, but I'm about 100% down for bringing fake snakes and fake spiders to Wild West Hackin' Fest and putting them in Jerry's chairs. Maybe even dropping one in the middle of his stream. Cybertron, would I consider Microsoft Intune to be considered an EDR software? Microsoft Intune is not an EDR software. Microsoft Intune is an MDM. You can use Microsoft Intune to push out EDRs, any type of EDRs, but Microsoft Intune is a MDM. So it's a mobile management device, or I say MDM, it is a management device for computers. You can use it for iPhones, Android phones, everything under the sun. Yeah, Leonard, MDM, not EDR, 100%. Space Tacos has some blue blockers. If you are, I guess you could say, if you are of age, you will remember the blue blockers commercial. If you don't know what the blue blockers commercial is, go look it up on YouTube, because it's hilarious. CI/CD is automated. Chris Cahill, I think what you're saying, I think that's Howie Mandel's. You're talking about him wearing them. When I was younger, I used to get bad migraines. So just to make sure that doesn't happen, I have them here. And if my eyes start going crazy or something along those lines, I'll put them on. Fraser's in the house. So got the consulting business up and running. Any books or business you may recommend? I will. I'll talk to you on the side about it. There's a lot of books I've been reading, Fraser. Lots of different ones that would probably be good. I'll shoot you a message later. If contractors like you, they may help you with it. Yeah, 100%. So this goes back to the question of, would you take a contracting job to get into IT? Tom Bishop hits it right on the head. If the contractors like you, they may help you with another contract, or that contract, the people that have the contract may hire you directly, and you may just be doing contract. You may be hired for that company that does contract work for people, instead of being hired as a contractor on a contract. Oh, I can turn the music up. Let me know if it's too loud. Microsoft Rex Cognition. Microsoft Intune is malware. Microsoft Intune is not malware. No, Rex, I said I got migraines when I was younger. I think that's what puberty does to you. Everything going crazy. I got migraines. If the music is too loud, y'all let me know, because I did crank it up. So this, I know Eric had a massive hot take on this yesterday, because he was going crazy with us in the background, not just on stream. But what are my thoughts about the Microsoft recall feature? I think it's a catch-22. I think it's awesome technology, but I sure as hell, sorry Kennedy, sure as hell don't want it on my machine. And here's a couple of reasons why. It's great to be able to fall back, but as somebody that does a lot of administrative work and other things, I don't need. You can tell me all day that it's encrypted and that it's on my machine. Well, who set it up to be encrypted? Microsoft did. So they have the ability to pull it out. David Bombal actually put something out about this yesterday as well. He dropped a little nugget, and he was saying, you know, it's a cool technology, but what about everything? What about all the passwords? What it basically is it's a keylogger. Can it actually see anything you type? So if you type something in clear text, like you're going and you're typing your password in, like we all do, we all go in and type our password into a website, and maybe you mess up and you don't put the password in correctly, and then you type it again and it doesn't go in correctly, and then you hit that little eyeball on the side to see what your password is, and now your password has been seen by the computer. So now you've got a screenshot with your password on there. That's one thing that I don't want. I don't want my passwords on there. What all is it looking at? Is it just taking screenshots, or is it actually doing more? It's a cool technology, but I don't think it's something that we need out there. There's no reason for it. If anybody can actually think of a reason for us to have it, let me know, but I don't see an actual reason to have that. So I got one in here. Sagoon, what could be the reason why a company will not release an offer letter after the agreement of the salary? This is over 2 weeks now, and the talent acquisition reached out to me, and the talent acquisition has not reached out to me. This is over 2 weeks now. The talent acquisition reached out to me. Okay, so they haven't reached out to you. If they haven't reached out to you in 2 weeks, I would have hoped that you have already reached out to them and asked them what's going on. It could be that the company decided that that position was not needed at this point in time. They could have turned around and said, hey, look, we want this position, but right now we don't have enough room on payroll to have a position like this, so we're going to need to hold off. If I were you, I would reach out to that talent acquisition. I would reach out to your contact there, talk to them, find out, see what's going on. Maybe it could also be we're getting to the end of the month. They may want to do this at the beginning of the month of or the next month. There's all types of accounting things within there, so that just make sure you reach out to them and find out. Oh, Angular, I'm looking for something, man. But it has to look realistic, so we're gonna do something. Yeah, I want to see Jerry scream like Marv. He's probably in the truck listening, and he's listening to everything I'm saying. I wonder if Intune is part of the stack. Let's see, what is this? Alana Bojan. I wonder if Intune is part of the stack that helps with Microsoft MFA and managing the device registration for the other factor. So Alana, Microsoft Intune is 100% part of that stack. What Microsoft Intune does is it actually brings the device into Azure AD. It registers it into Azure AD, and then at that point you have full control over the device. So you can set up all your encryptions and you can do all of that. Don't know how much you know about it. With the question, it seems like you don't know a whole bunch about it, but it brings that into your framework, into the Microsoft framework that you have. And then what you get to do is basically you have full control of the computer. So you can push things out, and like any other MDM, you can push things out. It gives you the ability to go ahead and wipe the machine. So if you have onboarding and offboarding with Microsoft Intune, you can basically set it up. So for instance, you could send a machine to a new employee. So say you're in Illinois, your company is housed in Illinois, and you're hiring somebody down in, I don't know, Florida or Louisiana or something. You can, without having your IT team having to get the computer in and then work on it and pull everything into it and set it all up. The old days we called ghosted, right? You ghosted. You can just send a blank computer down there, give them their username and password, their login, and then when they log into that computer, it will then connect to Microsoft Intune and it will pull everything down that they need. Now, if that person left, gets fired, or whatever it is, and they have that computer and they are not at the corporate office and they have all that information on that machine, you have the ability with a one click to wipe the machine, and that way they lose all the data on there, and it basically is an encrypted device that they can't do anything with. So it's 100% managing. It doesn't have anything to do with MFA. It does use it uses the connection between Azure AD and Intune, but it doesn't have anything to do with managing MFA. It looks like Zagin has put the question in there multiple times. So let's not spam. We don't need to see multiple questions. I don't need to see the same question in here 15 times. Geez. Okay, Rex, Microsoft is the malware. I'm going through all of this. Oh, you know what? I'm not even looking over much at it. I wonder if they've dropped stuff in there. And they have. They've been going crazy. In fact, let me pull this over so I can see what they've got in here. Go all the way. To be competent hacker. Taekwon Gong. That's the one that I saw. To be a competent hacker, how long is the process, and is the title hacker a title to be earned like a cert? So the word hacker is misleading in the way that everybody thinks about it. A quote unquote hacker is just somebody that takes something that it's intended for one use and they're able to manipulate whatever it is, a device, a software, whatever, to do something else. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Right? I'm sure everybody's seen, what is it, the crazy Russian that's on YouTube that takes homemade drones and puts, fire, what's it, like a fire tank on there, or a flamethrower on it. That's what it is, a flamethrower, fire tank. Puts a flamethrower on there and that is hacking. He hacked the drone. He was able to put something on there. He's using it for something that it wasn't ever used to be used for. That's what a hacker is. In your question, what I'm getting from you is you're asking, what does it take to be a competent hacker? Meaning, what does it take to be somebody that can infiltrate a system? And that is not something that's not something that you're looking for a title of. It's not something that you're earned like a cert. You can be the greatest person at being able to infiltrate or to find bugs or get into systems. That doesn't mean anything. They're not going to give you the title and like, oh, you're the greatest hacker of the world. No, that's not what that is. This would be a good question if you know who Tyler Ramsey is. It's a good question to ask him. I know he does some streaming at night. I think he was on last night. Tyler has had a very short career, but a very prolific career in the last couple of years. He went from not doing anything in IT to being on a red team and does a lot of CVEs and so forth, that'd be a good question for him. I'd reach out to Tyler and ask him that question and see what he says. He'll reply to you. Exactly. There you go. Thank you, Kimberly. We don't need to put the same thing in here 50 times. I have the whole thing. I'm going in order, and I'm trying. What I'm trying to do is the mods are actually putting them into mod chat, so I see them, and what I'm trying to do is get them on the overlay so everybody can see the question that I'm reading out. Going through here. It also takes snapshots every few seconds. Joel Harrison, I'm not sure what snapshots are you talking about. The Microsoft recall? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I don't type anything. I leave it up to 1Password. Hey Jesse, how does that password get into 1Password? Just out of curiosity. There you go. Justin Gold just dropped it in. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Tyler talks about how going from a pastor to a hacker. You imagine it there. Jesse imagines his password and it just shows up. All right, I just added it into chat. YouTube, it's a YouTube, Tyler Ramsey, a pastor to hacker. He's talking about his move. Not in Australia. Let's see what else we had on here. Okay, so we got something from Nelson. Let me see if I can find it on here. If not, then oh, there it is. All right. All right. Do you think it makes sense for the cybersecurity team to report to the support team in an organization, or if anyone else has some answers? Nelson Rivera, put in there, what do you mean by support team? The cybersecurity team is a support team in that sense. They're not going to be a part of operations. So when it comes to information technology within a company, the IT team, the cybersecurity team, they are a support team. They are supporting the business, right? The operations team is actually doing things that create operations within the business itself. So your accounting team is a supporting team. Your HR team is a supporting team. Your IT team is a supporting team. Those teams support everything that's going on within the business. The operations teams are doing the business to create the money, right? Like the sales team is doing business. They're part of operations. Let me know what you mean by reporting to the support team. Like who are you talking about reporting them to? But the cybersecurity team is going to report up to whomever the top IT person is or within. So whether it's a CIO, a CTO, a CISO, a VP of IT, an IT director, they're going to be reporting to somebody in that realm more than likely. Just depending on how the business itself, how the organization is set up. Trying to read through some of these. Nobody's actually asked the question, but I thought somebody would ask the question. So in today's daily brief, Jerry was talking about at some point how people get, if you're the person that has that specialty job or doing something in a specialty position, that it's hard, that you have to have somebody that be able to come in behind you and be able to do that job. And that doesn't mean that person, like you're giving that person all the ability to do everything so they can take your job. You have to have somebody behind you to be able to come in and do the same work that you do so you can move up. I think Jerry was talking about how if you don't have that, or if the business or the company looks and goes, no, we're not going to have anybody behind you, or you don't need a backup per se to be able to help out, then at that point you do kind of get lost in the shuffle of being able to move up, because you are specialized in that one sense, right? So if you are the only person that does networking, or you're the only person that does cybersecurity, or you're the only person that's doing one thing in IT, and you're good at it, but you don't have anybody that can come in and help you, or be able to take that quote unquote take that position from you, then it's really hard for you to move up. It's hard for you to get out of that position, because you still have to have your hands on to move up to that management level, or whatever it is. You still have to turn around and be able to do the quote unquote grunt work. What I say is, you're not giving somebody, or you're not training somebody and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to train this person and I'm going to lose my job. You're training somebody so you can move up. You're passing on your knowledge. You're passing your knowledge down to bring somebody else up to your position. And what you need to do is you need to look up to where you want to go. And that position, or whatever a position is in your company, you may not have that position there, but look around you, especially within this community. Like, you've got Jerry. If you're in a mid-management position, or a position where you want to move up, but you don't have anybody above you. So say you are, say you're an IT manager and you want to be an IT director, or you want to be a CISO, or you want to be a CIO. You need to find somebody in those positions, whether they're in your company or not, and converse with them, talk with them, understand what their daily job is. Have them pass that knowledge down. There are tons of people in this community and others that will give you that information, and will be more than happy to sit down and talk to you about what OpEx is versus CapEx, what it means to be a CISO, what it means to be a CIO. That doesn't mean your hands are on the keyboard all day long and you're punching out and doing patches and so forth. You're the one that's driving the technology in the business. You're the one that's driving the security protocols and so forth within the business. That's what we were talking about, or that's what Jerry was talking about earlier. You want to pass your knowledge down so you can gain the knowledge and move up. It's got to be there. And that doesn't necessarily, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that position is within your company, but you can find somebody that has that next position so you can learn and continue to move on. And maybe once you learn that position, maybe that position does become available in the company, because you go talk with somebody that has the authority to create that position, and you move up. Companies grow, companies get bigger, positions manifest themselves. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. There we go. Oh, and 100%, just like what Justin Gold just threw into mod chat. If you're the only person that's doing this job, guess what? You don't get time off, because when you do take your time off, you get called. So pass on your knowledge and gain the knowledge up. Not sure if I already passed it, but Jane Michael says something. Jane Michael said, do I have any cool projects going on right now on the side? Personally, I don't have any projects personally going on. I have a lot of projects company-wise going on. We've kind of hinted on some of it a little bit. I'm building out new networks, learning a whole bunch of new skills, not necessarily network skills, but managerial skills, management skills, and so forth. Reading a whole bunch of books. My personal projects are my kids. That's a personal project. Got to keep them in line. Oh, there it is. There was that question. So there was that question. Let's move on. What do we got? Crod's put in a, let me see where I can find that one. Okay, here it is. Last question. Hopefully I got to it. Hopefully you're still in here. Last question. I have my Net Plus exam on Tuesday. What are the resources do you think I can use to study? And what do you recommend to go over The pre-test jitters. Okay, so Krauts, I never took Net Plus. I went CCNA and up. So I've looked at Net Plus, and it was years ago. And from what I understand, there wasn't a lot. It's more about understanding concepts. I'm not sure how in-depth Net Plus is for subnetting, but if they've got subnetting on there, I would 100% make sure that you understand subnetting and how to subnet. I would assume that's on Net Plus. I've not looked at Net Plus in forever. My path was I went CCNA. This was 15 years ago. I took CCNA test. I studied for a couple of months, took CCNA test, passed that one. CCNA switch and router. Then I went CCNA wireless, and I went CCNA, they would call it unified communications, but it was VoIP back then. And then CCNA security, which basically security was just the ASAs. And then from there I went and did CCNP. For the net exam, just make sure you understand what everything is. From what I know about Net Plus, it's not straight hands-on. It's not a lot of, it's more along the lines of knowing what it is, knowing networking inside and out. Just study, take a good, get a good rest, and don't worry about it, right? You're gonna pass. You fail. You come back for another day. It's not a big deal. But the whole point of this is not necessarily walking out with a certificate, right? Who cares about the piece of paper? It's about the knowledge that you have in your head. The piece of paper is great. The knowledge you have in your head is even better. I've got back here on the wall, you can see them, all those pieces of paper. They're great to have, but I can trash them because you know what? They don't mean anything for me right now. And you know why? Because I didn't re-up those certifications. A certification, I want everybody to realize that a certification is for you. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. It's for you to prove to yourself that you know, that you understand it. Not for anybody else. Does it look good on a resume? Sure, on a resume, hey, yeah, I've got my Net Plus. That's a whole HR thing, and we've talked about, many people have talked about, you know, the whole making sure you have something on your resume and so forth, but you have to understand the information. All right, SSD is saying, yes, there is subnetting. So out of everything, everybody always stumbles over subnetting. Understand subnetting. Got any other questions? And just kind of scrolling through here. No single point of failure. There you go. Flakinator. I 100% agree with this one. No single point of failure, and a single person doing a job is 100% a single point of failure. And if that one person is doing more than one job and is the only person doing that job, that's a risk, right? It's a business risk. It's not necessarily a security risk. That's a business risk. Now we're talking more along business line risk and so forth. But there are risks. And you know what? Some companies don't have the ability to go hire 3 people to be able to back each other up in one position, right? Some companies don't have the ability to go pay. They may only have, you know, 80 grand on payroll for this person in IT. They can't go buy, or they can't go get 3 people that have the same ability and pay all 3 of them 80 grand. That's $240,000 a year, and they only have 80 on the books to be able to do that, so they can't do that. Now, can you go get 2 people for 40? You can, but the knowledge base isn't going to be there. So 100%. Do what you can to make sure that there's not a single point of failure, but that's not always the case. And there you go. Ryan Nell says it is succession planning, and that's 100% what it is. But like I just said, not all companies have the ability to do that. Kimberly's talking about, yes, it's cross training. We're 100% you do cross training along the boards. Just what I want everybody to realize is it's a lot easier to do cross training in operations because you have so much more people than it is to do cross training in some of the support roles, like within accounting or within HR, those, or IT. Those are usually smaller groups. Those are smaller groups, and the people demand more money in those groups. There you go. Like, Kimberly's spitting some facts out here. Ever heard of vendor lock-in? It's the same with employees. Gotta have more than 1 to 2 people trained in the same thing. Otherwise, it's employee lock-in. It is. But just remember, not everybody has the ability to have more than 1 employee. So Seth, no, not at all. You know what so there's a yin and a yang between this, right? So Seth, you're saying, man, I'm screwed. You work at a small company. You're the only cybersecurity person. You know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a bad thing when it comes to the business risk, right? Because you're the only person doing it. You're the only person that knows what's going on. And it's a bad thing for you if you want to take time off, then you're the only person there. It's not a bad thing because you are the only person with the knowledge right now that can be pushed forward, that you can go to higher ups. We need to do X. We need to do Y. This is why we need to do that. Bring information to them and say, hey, which more than likely is not here, but just an example. Hey, we have to have MFA on. Hey, we need to look at DLP. Hey, we need to make sure that we have policies and procedures in place for disaster recovery and business continuity. You want to bring that stuff up and show your worth and show that you understand that. As that business grows, then they're going to be like, man, remember when we had Seth? He's our only cybersecurity person, but look at all the knowledge that he's gained. Look at all the stuff let's bump him up. Let's make him, I don't know what your role is right now. So let's say your role is just cyber or security analyst, right? Let's just call it that. So, hey, remember he was a security analyst, but man, he's been bringing so much information. You take it to your boss. He's brought so much information to me. I really think he has the knowledge to move to the next step. And you tell them, hey, you can go in and say, hey, look, I love doing cybersecurity. I want to continue learning. What can I get, or will y'all pay for me to do continuing education? Can I go to conferences? Can I learn? Because I want to bring that knowledge back to this company so we continue to grow this company. And as the company grows, spots will open. But when a spot opens, or when they decide, hey, we are going to bring somebody else in, see if you can't bring somebody else in below you, right? Spit all your facts and all your knowledge down to them, and then move up and let them be, you can continue to be the driving force in that position, and let them do the quote unquote grunt work. Let them set up the policies. Let them make sure that MFA is running for everybody. Make sure they can, make sure that DLP is running, or that all the EDRs are in place. Those type of things. Don't ever think that just because you're in a small company that there's never room to grow, because companies do grow. But let the people above you understand that you want to continue to grow the knowledge. You want to continue to build the company up, make the company better. Like, I just spent like 5 minutes saying all of that. And then I scroll down and here's Kimberly with a one-liner. Request some help. Get some cross-training with other people. I think mine was better. She said the exact same thing with about 8 words that I did in about 16 paragraphs. Knowledge sharing, part of IT. Dream logic, no problem, man. That's one thing I will not shy away of. I think Eric is the same way. I'll give you my thoughts on everything and my opinions. You don't have to like my opinions. You don't have to like my thoughts. They're mine. But what I'd like to do is I like to let everybody know I mean, I've been doing this for 25 plus years. Been around the block. I want everybody to see what I've seen, understand what I do, understand what I've done, the stuff that I've been through. That way, hopefully, it makes it easier for you guys. For those that are just getting in, for those that didn't been in a little bit. Space Tacos, can you share some pre-net exam tips for the jittery bugs? I think I kind of went over that. For Net Plus, I would just 100% make sure you understand subnetting. Subnetting always flips everybody over. It's probably not going to, even if you failed all the subnetting stuff on there, you probably don't fail the test. I don't know how much is on that, but subnetting is something you have to understand, not just for the test, but if you're gonna, if you're taking Net Plus and that means that you're trying to become a network person, you want to do stuff, for the love of God, understand what subnetting is. Because if you don't understand that and you go past this test and then you try to go out and do the job, yes, there are subnet calculators and so forth, but you still have to understand what subnet means. Yeah, I can go to a subnet calculator, I can put in /23, but what does that mean? Oh, it means that I have all of these hosts and I have all of these networks and all these subnets, but understand the underlying, what it means. And I'm kind of behind. I'm going to shoot through these real quick because it is already 8:37 my time, 9:37 Eastern. I want to go through. Full wisdom note. There was one last one that has hopped in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find it and we'll answer it. And then I'm going to pull a tapper and shut it down because I do got to run out. I got to go do the job for the day. Where is this at? This is how far behind I am. I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Okay, I've been studying. Okay, here we go. Is it Ali? Ali. Ali. All right. I've been studying CompTIA, Sec Plus 601, and CISSP together. Holy smokes, for a year. That's why you've been doing it for a year, because you've been studying those together. Jesus. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no reason to do Sec Plus and CISSP together. Do one. And if you're doing Sec Plus, don't do CISSP, just do Sec Plus. And now the CompTIA Sec Plus 701 is out, so planning to schedule Sec Plus test soon before it gets retired. Advice. So my advice would be to go do 601. If you 100% know what 601 is and what's on there, go take it right now. Get it over and done with. If you have doubts, then I would stop. And then possibly go do 701, take one more month and do 701. The advice here is sign up for the test and set a date right now. What this sounds like is I have a Sec Plus book. Here, hold on. What this sounds like is I have a Sec Plus 701 book and I have been reading and reading and reading and reading. I've read through this whole thing and I understand what it is, but I'm scared to actually go take the test. Like I said before, you don't have to go take the test. It's all about having the knowledge, not necessarily a certification. But the whole point of you doing this is for your brain and for you to know, hey, I've done this. So you want to go get that piece of paper to go, hey, look, I proved to myself that I did this. If you've been studying this for a year, you should be prompt and ready to go already by this time, especially if you've been digging into CISSP, because CISSP goes way more into depth. CISSP, a lot of people don't realize, for those that have not looked at CISSP, CISSP is not just computer security. It's business risk is what that is. I mean, we're talking in CISSP, we're talking about, do we have specific fire extinguishers in the server rooms? Are we running specific things here? There's a whole, CISSP is 10 miles wide and 1 inch deep. It just scratches the surface on everything, and you have to know everything about everything. I am not a super nerd. But Adao, 100%, if you've already been studying this for a year, you should be good to go. Go take the test. Sign up for it. Make the commitment and go do it. That's the advice I can give you. Okay, with that said, Me, Michael. Just kind of scrolling through here. See all this mod love. Everything's retiring. Oh wait, what was this? Joel Harrison. What'd you say? Everything to share, experience, community. Somebody. Okay. Mods are awesome. Kimberly's awesome. Jesse's in there. Jesse's awesome. Everybody in here. Okay, it is 8:40. I've got to go run out. I got to go do my real job. I love hanging out with you guys. I love being able to drop knowledge, being able to answer questions. Love when everybody brings good questions and we have good conversations. I do want to, before we get out of here, I want to make sure that I have put this on here. I want to make sure I've got everything. Yeah. Everybody remember tonight or today, 4:30 Eastern. So was that 3:30 Central, 1:30 Pacific? Hope they got that right. NIST Over the Years with Dr. Ron Ross. That's going to be with Jerry at 4:30 Eastern time tonight. For who was it? Adal. That's doing the 601 tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central. There's a little program that runs, and there's a couple of people that come in there, and we have fun. It's called Slay Security Plus. Jesse Johnson, he's in chat. He runs it. Myself and Casually Joseph sometimes pop in and appear and have some fun. But we go over everything that has to do with Security Plus. So right now, I believe Jesse's going over everything with Sec Plus 701 because that's the new one. So we're going through 701. Everything in 701 probably still relates to 601. So Adal, I would say if you want today or tonight at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern time, come hit up Slay Security Plus and get everything refreshed in your brain and set your time and go take that test. Okay. All right, everybody. We're going to roll over to here. I am going to drop off. Hope everybody has a great day. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning for the Daily Cyber Brief. Let's see if I can find this outro. Until next time, guys, everybody stay secure. Intro. Outro. All right, everybody, stay secure. See you guys tomorrow morning. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the Jaw Jacking. Be sure to check out the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing happening every single weekday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., where you can get the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, network with other professionals, and then stay for the Jaw Jacking just like you saw. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. See you in the next one.